Hello and welcome to How Mundane, the least interesting place on the internet. Today, my Archazia's Island stuff all got here. We are one day removed from the NTX card show from March. So let's talk about how NTX went while we open up a full batch here of Lorcana stuff. This is the deck box that comes with the gold Lilo promo card. And then, it looks like the deck box comes with a whole variety of other packs. So, I guess we'll see what we get. So yeah, NTX. What has become one of the biggest trading card game shows in the North Texas region was this last Sunday. It moved to a new venue at, there we go, Maleficent and Ursula Reverse. New venue that was at the Embassy Suites in Frisco. It's technically called the Frisco Conference Center in that part of the building. And there were definitely some pros and cons. So for anyone who was there, you know, it was really crowded. Really crowded. We posted a reel at kind of the peak crowd time of just how nuts it got, where we were out in the hallway rather than in the main room. It was wall-to-wall people. At one point, they came through and asked us all to scoot our tables back by request of the fire marshal. So it gives you an idea of how many people were there. In fact, there were so many people there that they eventually had to stop selling wristbands at the door partway through the day, and a number of people, unfortunately, then only got to talk to those of us in the hallway and didn't get to go into the main room, which is a shame. But that said, the venue was definitely better equipped from an HVAC standpoint than the mall was. While it did get kind of toasty with that many people in there, it was not anywhere near as hot as it had been the last two times. There's the Mulan. So that was definitely an improvement. Another improvement, of course, is that for the next one, it will actually have the entire venue. So this time, the venue was being used by NTX for about half of the venue. And the other half of the venue was a dance competition of some sort. So our little dividers. And we probably needed the whole thing for the card show because there were that many people. And next time we will have that. So there will be way more space if you come to the next one in May for all of the attendees, which should be a huge improvement. Parking, I hear, got to be interesting. I, of course, was at that point inside the whole time, so I wasn't spending time out in the parking lots. There is plenty of parking available in the area. You just may have to walk a little bit because the garage that's actually attached to the venue is fairly small. I will say the bottleneck of getting into the garage for those of us who were trying to unload stuff to sell was a bit of a bummer because, I don't mind paying for the parking, but the fact that that slows down to not getting people in, and then that puts everyone behind as far as getting stuff set up, isn't a great way to start the day. But as for what happened during the show itself, we were super busy, did a ton of business. Actually had the distinct pleasure to meet the one and only Leon Hart, who came by doing a trade-up challenge very early in the day. He traded me an Eevee promo for a let him pick whatever slab he was interested in out of our slab binder. He ended up picking a fire energy hollow. And super nice guy. But what was more interesting was later in the day, you know, normally at these shows, we typically don't do buying or trading because of the accounting headache that comes with it. I could get into that if people really want a deep dive on how sales tax accounting is supposed to work in the state of Texas. My guess is most people, there we go, Tamatoa. Most people do not want to hear an extended discussion of sales tax accounting in the state of Texas. But that's why we typically do not buy or trade during shows. It's just too much of a headache. But because it was Leonhard, of course, I'm going to do something for him. And later in the afternoon, a couple of kids, I don't know, probably 8, 10 years old, something like that, came by. And one of them was like, hey, I'm trying to do a trade-up challenge. Do you have anything you'd be willing to trade me for this? And I had set the still sealed Eevee promo that Leonhard traded me earlier in the day off to the side. Hey, there we go. We got a pretty good hit in that pack. And I said, you know, look, normally I don't do these kind of things, but do you kids know Leonhard? They're like, yeah. I was like, he came by this morning and he traded me this Eevee promo. Would you like that as a trade for your card? Yes. The kids were immediately so excited, and they were going to go try and track him down to see if they could get him to sign it. Absolutely was great seeing them have their day made by getting a card that had been in the possession of one of their favorite YouTube personalities. So that was a lot of fun. Here, there is the Mickey Mouse. So that was a lot of fun. So yeah, we are looking forward to being back at NTX in May. I don't know that we are going to do any other shows in between now and then. In the meantime, of course, we keep our entire slab inventory up to date on CollX. And I would say if there's something you're looking for, go take a look. When we are vending at these shows, obviously space is always limited, and I put out as much stuff as I can and can keep an eye on, but we've always got more than we've got on the table. Particularly for NTX, we only bring a very small number. There's the Donald Duck. Very small number of sports cards, because it is primarily a TCG show. There are always some people who are interested, but the sports card inventory is 100% up to date all the time on CollX and available at any time to be shipped anywhere you would like to have it shipped. There is I guess I hadn't been going through these slow enough to really look at the dual inks, but there's the Maid Marian. That, of course, being one of the new features of this set, the dual ink cards. Which have to be played in a deck with both colors on the dual ink card, according to the rules. The other thing I think I'm going to start doing soon is adding some of our sealed product to CollX too. I noticed some other folks have started doing that as well. So while their platform is typically for singles, either raw or graded, you can kind of get around it to put in some sealed stuff. So I will definitely be doing that with at least some of the inventory that's more easily shippable. But of course, we will always have stuff at the shows, particularly on the TCG front. I will say, based on what I saw happen a couple of times during the course of the show this week, if you see something you like, maybe don't sleep on it. I had at least 3 instances of someone come look at a card, say, oh, I'll come back in a little bit. Someone else come up and buy that exact card. That person comes back. It's like, okay, I'd like that card now. It's like, well, it sold 5 minutes ago. So with a market that's this hot, particularly when you're looking at slabs, don't necessarily sleep on a particular slab because it may be hard to track down another one if you decide to hold off and miss your chance. But 'tis what it is. I will say that is especially the case with, some of the super rare illustration cards like in Pokemon. Obviously, that is the case with things like autograph cards in the sports world. You just never know what's going to be out there and when it's going to be out there. We had a guy pick up a graded Wyatt Langford autograph Topps Pristine rookie card that had gotten a BGS 9.5 and a 10 on the auto. That's definitely one that very limited number of those floating around. So you gotta strike while the opportunity is there. That said, it was, oh wow, we picked up a foil Mickey Mouse. Not enchanted, but that's not bad. It's been interesting to see kind of the growth of different stuff. I had more people asking about Yu-Gi-Oh! At this show, I think, than I've had people asking about Yu-Gi-Oh! In ages. Flipped a couple of cool Yu-Gi-Oh! Slabs. Dual golds in one pack. Lorcana has certainly taken off, is definitely very popular. Don't know that the graded card popularity has quite hit what it is with Pokemon yet, but it is getting there. And some of those, particularly the older first chapter cards, if you've got them graded, have definitely gone up in value. Lots of people, though, buying loose Lorcana, which we've always got a bunch of, to build out some decks. So good to see that this game seems to have some staying power, although I know there have been some complaints as of late, particularly around the use of Sapphire. So we'll see if they can, get the game balance nailed. That's always one of the challenges in any game. Balance. And it'll be interesting to see if they end up adopting, some kind of system like Pokemon does, where after a certain number of years the cards are no longer playable, or something like Magic the Gathering where you've got ban lists. Certainly there is more than one way to potentially address the issue, short of just, power creeping yourself into oblivion. So it will be interesting to see how Ravensburger decides to address that issue. The other thing that was interesting is it looks like Ravensburger has hired some digital folks, and so there is at least some hope. There's a balloon that we may be getting kind of a Lorcana, something like Pokemon TCG Pocket, maybe before too long. That would be pretty cool. Certainly TCG Pocket, even though it's kind of a lightweight version of the Pokemon card game, is an easy way to pick up the mechanics of the game such that you could transition to playing with the actual cards if you wanted to. Oh, I like the Chernabog, especially on the holo. So we'll see. It's proving up to be an interesting year in the trading card game space once again. So let's see how it plays out. The next set with Jafar comes out in another couple of months. We will, I'm sure, get some of that to check out when the time comes. It was unfortunate that I didn't get all of this Archazia stuff in time to have at NTX last weekend, but there's always another show, right? What do we got left? 3 packs left. See if maybe we get lucky. Looks like the enchanted pull rates have been still fairly low based on what has been posted on the Reddit. Minnie Mouse. Mulan, the new dual ink in the holo. Will we get any last pack magic? While we wrap it up here, say once again, thanks for being mundane with us. Hope you'll like and subscribe, and we'll see you again next time. No luck. Bye.